Obstacle course on the road this Memorial Day weekend. A bumper crop of roadblocks. Tonight, the lay of the land and the air. Recall: 1 million minivans, all with a potentially dangerous problem. Are the airbags safe? Sacred ground. America's military cemeteries filling up fast. Will there be enough room for all who serve? And NBC News in depth: why Americans can't seem to get enough of NASCAR, the fastest growing professional sport, making millions at 200 miles an hour.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw. Substituting tonight, Brian Williams.
Good evening. Those of you joining us from home tonight, or at least indoors, you're among the fortunate. As you're about to see, it's rough out there, as predicted, and for all the right reasons. Good economy, cheap gasoline. The unofficial start of summer is now officially underway. And about that tough travel tonight, you are looking live at the Garden State Parkway on the way to the Jersey Shore. This is just south of Newark, New Jersey. It's already starting. This is the scene tonight in Texas. Traffic backed up on I-35, running north-south right through the center of Dallas. Not just the roads are jammed tonight. This is Chicago O'Hare, where just under 1 million people will be passing through this weekend. As NBC's Jim Avila reports tonight, getting there is a challenge any way you go.
As America rushes to celebrate summer, record traffic at the airport threatens holiday calm. 12.75 million passengers will fly by Tuesday. 85% of the airline seats full today.
It's going to be the busiest one ever.
The airlines predict big delays and blame an overworked traffic control system. In fact, delays were up 51% last month, 34,000 late takeoffs in April of '99, compared to 22,500 in April of '98.
Air traffic control delays cost the economy a little over $4 billion a year. That's both the money that it costs the consumers and money it costs the airlines as well.
The Bartos family from suburban Chicago, concerned about delays, woke up at 4:30 this morning for an 11:44 flight.
It's a lot of work, but you know, you're kind of like on an adrenaline, because you're excited.
Much of that tension builds on the roads to the airport. 27 million vacation trips this weekend, and the government estimates construction zones jam some major highways every 30 to 40 miles. Alex Del Vecchio is braving Interstate 94 construction this weekend on a family trip from Birmingham, Michigan to Erie, Pennsylvania.
Well, I'm not very enthusiastic about the construction that's going on this week.
At 6,000 safety belt checkpoints across the country, the slowdown today is intentional. Officers watching passing cars with zero tolerance for the unbelted, and a steep fine at this Washington, D.C. roadblock.
There's a $50 fine, 2 points in your license. Have a nice day. Enjoy your weekend.
Outside Detroit today, the fine is $45, but belted passengers get a bonus.
Free passes for either some golf balls over at C.J. Barrymore's or for some go-kart rides out there.
Even in Montana, there's a slowdown. Today, for the first time in history, Montana has posted speed limits on its interstate.
We're going to enforce the law.
And if you have a choice, the worst time to fly is tonight, the peak hours. The best time to get out will be tomorrow morning. And returning, try to wait till Tuesday morning. Brian?
Jim Avila braving Chicago O'Hare for us tonight. Thanks. There is another note of caution as Americans hit the road this weekend. This one about safety. A wildly popular type of minivan may have a very dangerous problem that the government would like you to know about. More tonight from NBC's Robert Hager.
It's the largest recall ever for airbags that go off when they shouldn't. 1 million Daimler Chrysler minivans, 4 to 5 years old, to be called in for checks. The problem? Rare, but hard to imagine anything more startling. Turn on the ignition, and the bag goes off instantly because of a short circuit in wiring. The government says 50 drivers have complained that it happened to them, resulting in 21 reports of injuries. Fortunately, none serious. Minivans to be checked are all 1994 and 1995 models, Dodge Caravan, Plymouth Voyager, and Chrysler Town & Country. The government's been investigating for a year and a half, but Daimler Chrysler agreed voluntarily to deal with the issue now. We'll notify the 1 million owners by mail in about a month. Tell them to bring the vans to a dealer to inspect the wiring and replace it if necessary.
The problem's in some wiring right down here in the base of the steering column. There's some sharp metal down there that could cause some chafing, that can cause a short circuit,
in which case the airbag could deploy unexpectedly, but only after a driver had just turned on the ignition.
The recall comes just as Daimler Chrysler's in the midst of another completely different dispute about airbags in older minivans. Charges that when there is an accident, the bag on the passenger side can go off too powerfully. 12 children have been killed, but Chrysler says the bags are safe when passengers are properly belted. That one's still under investigation. Problems for the very automaker that was first to develop minivans and make them one of the most popular vehicles on the road today. Problems now, just as drivers hit the road for Memorial Day. Robert Hager, NBC News, Washington.
Switching over now to the crisis in Kosovo, the very latest on a very shaky peace process. To listen to the Russian who talked peace today in Belgrade, there is reason for optimism tonight, but others are much more cautious. We are joined by NBC News Pentagon correspondent Jim Miklashevsky with more on that tonight. Jim?
Brian, after peace talks in Belgrade today, the Russian envoy says he sees a light at the end of the tunnel. But U.S. officials warn there's still a long way to go.
Russia's Viktor Chernomyrdin leaves Belgrade tonight saying he's very satisfied with today's peace talks. And Milosevic announces he's ready to take a peace deal brokered by the UN. But U.S. officials remain skeptical because Milosevic has said it all before and still not agreed to all of NATO's terms. Until then, NATO will keep turning up with record numbers of airstrikes. And the State Department provides new evidence to back up the war crimes indictment against Milosevic. Satellite photos, they show the surge zooming map rays to destroy the evidence of atrocity.
And a massive cover-up of these massive war crimes.
Meanwhile, a massive humanitarian effort is underway to save stuck refugees inside Kosovo. Next week, private relief plan to airdrop food to those refugees who are barely surviving.
Some of them report having 4 days eaten leaves or tried to squeeze water out of vegetation in order to survive.
But the airdrops themselves are extremely dangerous. Low-flying planes drop 175,000 of these packets containing high-calorie biscuits. But each packet is 1.5 pounds and hard to break. Dropped from a plane, they become virtual biscuit bombs that could kill people on the ground. And the planes themselves could get mistakenly shot down, either by Serb troops or NATO warplanes.
I think it's not a good idea, frankly, as an airman.
In Albania today, American troops prepare to observe Memorial.
Tonight, the peace talks could take at least 2 or 3 more weeks. But if they don't succeed by then, the airstrikes could drag on for 2 or 3 more months. Brian?
Jim Miklashevsky at the Pentagon this Friday night, thanks. And still ahead as we continue this evening, America's new national pastime, Look Fast. The fastest growing sport in the country isn't baseball or basketball.
I think we appeal to the masses of people that drive Pontiacs, that drive Chevrolets.
Hot Wheels. This is NASCAR. Why is it bigger than ever these days? And up next, running out of sacred ground as the nation honors those who made the ultimate sacrifice. A question of space. Will there be enough?
Splendid-looking Lexus.
Thanks.
Like my Seville, no doubt a technological marvel. Blessed with the control of the world's most renowned driving system.
System?
Look, that's right. You don't have the North Star system.
Seville, with all the power and control of the North Star system. Now just $549 a month. It's what's next.
Do I want to know how much?
No, it would break your heart.
See your Cadillac dealer today.
I've made bouquets for people for years, and people finally said, why don't you start selling those things? I think the secret behind a lot of this has to do with Miracle-Gro. Big blossoms, look at the colors. What more could I ask for? The compliment has to go to Miracle-Gro.
So try new genuine Bear gel caps, the only gel cap that can help save your life. New Bear gel caps, powerful pain relief, and so much more.
If you wear dentures, imagine how nervous teaching teenagers could make you feel. What if your dentures slipped? But thanks to the all-day hold of Super Polygrip, those days are over. I think that says a lot about the power of Polygrip.
When I take a liquid antacid, I feel like, ugh.
It's like liquid chalk.
I'm not crazy about any of them.
If you had something that tastes better, I mean, it would be a joy.
Introducing new fast-acting Mylanta Supreme.
What makes it supreme? Wow.
Oh, that's good. I'm not kidding.
Very light. Yeah, it tastes like a dessert.
It's the only liquid antacid with no chemical preservatives.
It doesn't taste like medicine, I'll tell you.
No. It's actually helping my indigestion now.
Supreme relief. Taste it for yourself.
You have some more?
Now, two of the area's best forecasters have joined together. The Oregonian and Matt Zaffino, voted Portland's best weathercaster by the Associated Press. Now, look for Matt's forecast every weekday in the Oregonian and every weeknight on Northwest News Channel 8, where the news comes first.
As this Memorial Day weekend kicks off, there is a cloud over what is the last and one of the most treasured honors for this country's veterans, burial in a military cemetery. The question, is the U.S. running out of room? You are looking live tonight at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia, the most famous of America's military burial sites. 265,000 people have been buried here since 1864. But as NBC's Bob Fall reports, Arlington and other military cemeteries may not be able to properly honor this nation's war dead.
Present. Today we are gathered here to bury another American veteran.
In Culpeper, Virginia, there is room to bury Specialist 4th Class Lacey Wright. But this lovely cemetery, 132 years old, has only 312 grave sites left. By the end of next year, it will be full.
This is home. This is where we work.
And that's where you want to end up.
That's where we want to end up.
The situation alarms 88-year-old veteran Claude Gwynn, who has spent the last 51 years helping to preserve these grounds.
People who served in the armed services deserve to have a good resting place.
The problem is not just Culpeper. Just over 1,000 veterans die every day. 377,000 die every year. Without expansion, veterans' burial grounds will be full early in the 21st century.
The demographics of the projected veterans' deaths will overwhelm the existing National Cemetery space.
It's not that much of a problem, says the Veterans Administration, which insists the VA is expanding old cemeteries or building new ones at what it calls an unprecedented rate.
Where we have space, there's plenty to last the next 50 to 100 years.
But at the American Legion Hall in Culpeper, where they take their vows seriously.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Many veterans feel betrayed.
They promise all the vets that they'd be buried in a national cemetery.
Here, there is disappointment and anger.
Makes me madder than hell. It's a damn shame, really.
You don't have many veterans in Congress in either house, and your top man, Slick Willie, was a draft dodger.
Even if Culpeper succeeds in buying the cemetery 5 acres nearby, these veterans are realists.
There's a finite amount of dirt that we have to do that, and that's just a fact of life. But it's just another erosion of veterans' benefits.
And a sign of the times which saddens even an optimist like Claude Gwynn.
The public doesn't give a damn.
About veterans.
Right.
They're served and they're forgotten.
More or less, yes.
Once they were ready to die for their country. Now they wonder if their country will be ready for them. Bob Fall, NBC News, Culpeper, Virginia.
On Wall Street today, a short session with considerably less drama than yesterday's virtual free fall for the Dow. Today getting back almost 93 points in light holiday trading. Good day over on the NASDAQ, up over 51. For the week, the Dow down in all almost 270 points. NASDAQ down just under 50. Up next, NBC News in depth. This country's hottest sport and one of its hot prospects.
I want to be the competitive driver in NASCAR that happens to be a woman.
Stock car racing's heroes and heroine, what it's like to race with the big boys.
For
For the 1% of the world that expects more from a truck, there's the all-new GMC Sierra. Completely redesigned with the first ever standard four-wheel anti-lock disc brakes on a half-ton pickup and our largest cab ever. 1%ers, your wait is over. Come in now during the National Sierra Invitation Days. It's your chance to make comparisons, not compromises.
Getting those urban cowboys on horses was trying enough. And you throw in some serious chili, we're talking major heartburn. We were way out there in this cowboy. He pulls this Zantac 75 out of his saddlebag. I said, what are you, a Zantac salesman? He said, no, I'm a doctor.
The medicine in Zantac 75 is the #1 doctor-prescribed acid reducer. It relieves even your toughest heartburn, controlling acid for up to 12 hours.
Hats off to you, Doc.
Zantac 75 for tough heartburn. Doctors know.
It's party time. Hot tubs everywhere will be overflowing. Make sure your deck can take the heat with Thompson's Wood Protector. For rain, sun, mildew, it's the most powerful Thompson's yet. Thompson's Wood Protector. It never takes a day off.
The best way to cure athlete's foot so it won't come back is here. New Lamisil AT. It's so powerful, it does what no other brand can do. These take 4 weeks of treatment to kill the fungus. Lamisil AT is so powerful, with just 1 week's use, it stops the itching and burning and cures athlete's foot between the toes. So powerful, a clinical study showed 3 whole months later, most users were still athlete's foot free. Now without a prescription. New Lamisil AT, the best way to cure athlete's foot fast so it won't come back.
They sprayed us good, huh?
Yeah, good.
But I gotta tell you, my roots hurt real bad. Hank, whoever did this is gonna pay. Hank, they're gonna pay big. Hank! Hank!
Roundup. No root, no weed, no problem.
We're picking up our CEO.
Fortunately, the company cars have OnStart.
We swerved off the road and boom, the airbags go off.
There was a deer.
I never saw it.
Seconds later, an OnStar advisor calls. He says, I just got a signal. Your airbags went off. Should I send an ambulance?
We were fine, but she called for a tow truck and a limo.
Good thing I called OnStar.
OnStar called us.
Oh, right.
The one-touch connection to people who can help.
OnStar.
Call 1-800-OnStar-7.
Sunday, what did China steal and why are they still getting away with it? Plus, war crimes prosecutor Louise Arbour indicts Milosevic. Can he be tried? On Meet the Press.
NBC News in depth. Tonight, NASCAR. If that name doesn't ring a bell, it will. NASCAR is stock car racing, the #1 spectator sport in the U.S., and it is very big business. It wasn't always, however. The sport started back in 1948 on the hard sand at Daytona Beach. A ticket was 50 cents. Today, there are 2,000 races each year at 134 big and small sanctioned tracks in 39 states. The average price of a ticket now, $50. What's behind this mania for the ultimate muscle cars? NBC's Bob Dotson begins our in-depth report.
Big-time stock car racing is as hot as a piston. 6 million fans in the stands. 180 million more watching on TV. Double the number a decade ago.
We appeal to the masses of people that drive Pontiacs, that drive Chevrolets.
And everybody's been stuck in traffic before and wanted to pull out on the left lane and just blow everybody off.
That daydream is part of what makes NASCAR a $2 billion a year business. But being fan and family friendly is a big part too.
They're not money hungry, they're not greedy, they're not like the owners in the NBA.
Unlike the NBA or the NFL, fans here can get real close to their heroes.
You can't walk to the Steelers' locker room.
That closeness makes them unusually loyal to the sponsors who back their favorite drivers.
We don't use anything but Tide in our washing machine.
So faithful, some of America's biggest companies now pay $9 million to slap their logo on a stock car. Jeff Gordon's car has more than 40.
We think we generate about $5 in revenue for every dollar we spend.
Because Gordon is the man to beat. He's won nearly a third of all the races this year. He's only 27, but he's had more wins in less time than any driver in NASCAR history.
It couldn't get much better than it is right now.
In 7 years, he's won $29 million.
Diehards.
Yet, he still treats fans like they sign his check.
Thank you. What would you like?
Without those free-spending fans, the sport might still be stuck in the mud. It began on dirt tracks in the South half a century ago.
NASCAR isn't just down in Dixie anymore. Donald Trump plans to open up a new track near New York City because stock car racing now draws more television fans than baseball or basketball.
These new fans are sending sales of NASCAR toys and products zooming.
Beanbag. I have 5 of those. Scrap
$80 million a decade ago.
Make the noise. Cabbage Patch Baby. Fish and hooks.
Nearly $1 billion today. No one knows how much bigger NASCAR will get, but with polite young stars like Gordon, the next generation of fans is already here and buying. They've just spent $50 million for the hottest collectible doll in the country, NASCAR Barbie. Bob Dotson, NBC News, Charlotte, North Carolina.
We should mention close to half of NASCAR's fans are women, but among the ranks of the top drivers, they are rare. Tonight, we hear from one of them, Shauna Robinson, a 20-year driving veteran, a 34-year-old mother of 2, looking for her first big league win. Now, Shauna Robinson in her own words.
I want to be the competitive driver in NASCAR that happens to be a woman, and that's what I'm going to accomplish. I was raised to live to where you can be whatever you want to be, you can go after whatever goal, but you have to work hard for it. I think the best reaction comes from those that see me race or are at a race or are familiar, and then they're just like, that's so cool what you do, and we support you 100%, and you know that. And I mean, from men, women, doesn't matter what age. It's not that it takes a lot of muscle. You have to be in shape, but it takes a lot of concentration, mental awareness, and just consistency. It's not necessarily how big you are. Having a family was something very important to me. I mean, I just can't tell you what it's done for me as just a mother. There's nothing more that you can feel than that, to have those little ones that look up to you and count on you.
You want to help Mommy put her shoes on? Help me put my shoes on.
This is my life, and as a mother, that's what I am first and foremost. And I'm a race car driver. That's my job. That's what I do when I go to work every day.
NASCAR driver Shauna Robinson in her own words tonight. Up next, as we continue, Tom Brokaw's Memorial Day tribute to the greatest generation and their children. Bonds forged in wartime that last more than a lifetime.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
The new Silverado interior is so big, there's plenty of room for seating. And, in a pinch,
Mommy said I could ride the pony.
ample room for sleeping. Introducing Silverado, the truck from Chevrolet.
This is how the world feels when you have dry eyes. But now there's new Visine Tears with a unique tears formula not found in other leading brands to make dry, scratchy eyes feel moist and comfortable. Visine Tears, it gets the dry out.
Forget these. Remember this. Smile. Eat. Make a mess. Make a memory. Escape to Red Lobster.
These hands have been trusted with many a small head.
Come on in.
Arthritis will not change that.
Who's the big boy?
Presenting Tylenol Arthritis Extended Relief. It lasts up to twice as long as regular aspirin without irritating your stomach. So you're in very good hands.
You know, you're a lot better in the barber chair than your dad was.
Tylenol Arthritis. Take comfort in our strength.
I'm 64. Is there anything I can do to stop bone loss?
Absolutely. Here's proof. In a landmark clinical study, Caltrate actually stopped bone loss in women at risk for osteoporosis, whatever your age.
It's never too late for Caltrate.
A neglected septic system is like a time bomb under your house. Diffuse it with maintenance and advanced formula Rid-X septic treatment. It digests grease and paper and helps keep your system trouble-free. Diffuse that time bomb. Use Rid-X every month.
Overactive bladder.
That strong, sudden urge.
Having to go so often. The fear of wedding accidents.
If you're one of the millions who live with some of these symptoms, there's something you should know. Overactive bladder isn't normal at any age, and your doctor has treatments that can help.
Need a break?
I can wait.
These treatments can help reduce the symptoms of an overactive bladder. You want to go back?
In a while.
Overactive bladder isn't normal at any age, so talk to your doctor today about treatments that can help.
Bidding war could erupt. The deal has been struck. DuPont just reported.
Wild trading going on.
Beat the Street, CNBC's Squawk Box, weekday mornings.
There's been a lot said and written about the greatest generation of Americans, victorious in war, hugely successful here at home. It's a lesson in life their children have now found they cannot live without. Tom Brokaw tonight on those learning while there's still time.
The children of those who served in the Second World War live with the reward and memory of their parents' accomplishments. Dr. Beth Gardner, whose father, Dr. Thomas Ballantyne, was a surgeon on the front lines.
I was convinced that I was the only one who had a personal Jeep that was personally in World War II.
And like George Chungus, whose father, Constantine, was one of the first to land at Utah Beach on D-Day.
He was quite a man, quite a man.
Not long ago, George wrote to me,
Dear Mr. Brokaw, my father died at the age of 44 in 1963, but I can still remember the stories that he told.
Though the stories were rarely about the horrors of war.
He would talk about his comrades, his friends. It was really all about relationships.
Often his father would speak of one special man, Beth's father, Thomas.
If he had a hero, it would have been Dr. Ballantyne, who he watched as a medic operate on soldiers in the most incredible battlefield conditions.
After the war, both men came home to suburban Boston to make different but valuable contributions. Dr. Ballantyne would become a renowned neurosurgeon. Constantine would take over the family's generations-old dairy business. Although out of touch with Dr. Ballantyne for 15 years...
One day he took it upon himself to drive into Boston to deliver several tubs of specialty Greek cheeses to Dr. Ballantyne and renew his acquaintance.
I remember this wonderful cheese that turned up and that it was associated with somebody who knew Dad, and that I think Dad felt incredibly honored that somebody would remember him.
2 years later, a brain aneurysm would strike Constantine.
When the time came for the operation that he had, and he requested that Dr. Ballantyne perform that operation, he would trust nobody else.
The complicated surgery was a success, but Constantine's heart would give out, and he died a short time later. With tragedy came an enormous medical bill. Something else made that bill quite extraordinary.
It was marked, paid in full, with a warm personal note to the family from Dr. Ballantyne, remarking, among other things, on the impact on him by the surprise visit by my father 2 years earlier.
That was very much of what he did, and I think that came out of the war. I think that came out of his generation.
Because of George's letter, he and Beth have met for the first time.
I can remember my dad talking about the fact that they were lucky if they got any light.
Now, where is your father in that picture?
He's right
there.
A chance to share memories and the legacy of their parents' generation.
I am what I am today because of him. If I could be like him, that's all I could ever ask for.
And that is NBC Nightly News for this Friday evening. Don't forget Dateline tonight at 9. I hope to see you later on for the news on MSNBC on cable at 9 tonight, and again on CNBC at 10 each evening. I'm Brian Williams reporting from New York. Good night, and have a good Memorial Day weekend.
Funding for local broadcast of the News Hour with Jim Lehrer has been provided by viewers like you. And by the following: Davis Wright Tremaine, lawyers to the business community and individuals, with 13 offices worldwide. Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people, at 50th and Stark and 90th and Division.